Today, we're going to talk about forecasting for the year 2023. Okay, not just for the year 2023. We are learning how to forecast. Forecasting is a function of budgeting, tracking your expenses, and goal setting. So we're going to talk about those three things today. And even as we talk about that, it is critical to remember that investment is not a one-size-fits-all kind of a thing. What works for you might not work for me, and vice versa. As we are doing these videos, we are not telling you exactly what to do. The aim is for you to pick up what works for you and leave the rest. It's not mandatory that you take the 50%, the 20%, the 10% figure that we tell you to put aside and use that. If that does not work for you, what is important is you at least start saving something. Put something aside for tomorrow. Put something aside for a rainy day. Doing something is better than doing nothing. The person who has 5 shillings, 10 shillings, 1,000 bob in their account is better off than the person who is waiting to accumulate wealth in order to start building a portfolio. So let's begin with budgeting. So what is budget? What is a budget? In simple terms, a budget is a tool, any tool that you use to put aside your thoughts and say that this is where I want to spend my money. So it could be a piece of paper, it could be an Excel sheet, it could be a template that you've downloaded, or it even could be an app. Whatever makes you comfortable. So it could be anything, as long as you're putting down and saying, X amount of money is going to go to utilities, X amount of money is going to go to transport. So it could be whatever it is that you do to be able to know that this is the amount of money I'm going to spend within this time period on this number of things. That's budgeting. Now, why is it very critical to budget? As I said, if you do not plan, then you're planning to fail. So whatever you do, if you're in a fixed salary situation, you need to make a budget. Whether you're in a fixed salary or you're in a variable salary situation. By variable salary, I mean maybe you get your income in terms of wages. You do not have a guaranteed amount at the end of the month. You are in the gig economy. So either way, you need to budget. And knowing where your money goes at the end of every month is critical for you to also be, to enable you to make some savings, to make some investments. So the first thing that you need to do is budget. How do you budget? I can't teach you how to budget. Can anyone teach anyone how to budget, really? Not really, because you're the owner of your expenses. You're the one who knows what is critical to you and what can wait till the next month. So for example, if you're making a budget, start with the critical needs. For example, you need to have accommodation. You need to have a roof over your head. Start with that. You need to have transport to go to your place of work, whatever it is. If it's gig economy, if it's an employer, you're on salaried, whatever terms, you need to budget for that. At the end of it all, even as you're budgeting, it is also critical to spend some money on yourself. You need to give yourself a motivation. What people normally say, pay yourself. Give yourself a motivation so that next month you will also have the motivation to continue budgeting. If you do not put some money aside for your own personal expenditure, that's how you find yourself spending more than what you intended in a particular period. So it's important, even if it's 10%, 5%, put aside that money. And this money is not for buying your clothes. No, this money is for doing things that will give you pleasure. If it's taking your wife for lunch, if it's going on holiday, put some money aside with every income so that at the end of the day unarudishia mwili pole. Hiyo ni important pia. So as we are teaching you how to invest, also remember to say thank you to your body for enabling you to wake up in the morning and go look for these funds that you're spending and that you're budgeting. Number 2, track your expenses. Tracking expenses is important because you'd be surprised that so much of our money that we spend, so much of it goes to useless things. Once you start tracking your expenses, every month you put aside You have a notebook or you have an Excel sheet where you write, I spent 2,000 shillings on Java with my friends. I spent 5,000 bob on transportation. I spent another extra 1,000 shillings. I saw a handbag somewhere. Once you start tracking that, you'd be surprised at the end of the month when you look at the things you've spent your money on. You'd be surprised the number of things that you could have done away with. You'd be surprised the amount of money that you're spending going for lunch out instead of eating in the house. You'd be surprised the amount of money. And the only way you can know this is when you're tracking your expenses. So you have done your budgeting, you have tracked your expenses. And by there, tracking expense is not a one-time thing. Don't do it month 1 and forget about it. Do month 1, do month 2, do month 3. You will see a pattern. There will be a certain pattern that will be developed. And once you notice that pattern, it will be very easy for you to know exactly where to trim and where to, add some money and how to make, that extra disposable income that you can use to make investments, that you can use to plan for tomorrow. So even as you're tracking those expenses, some people say, I don't even have extra money, to put, an emergency fund. That's how you do it. Start by tracking your expenses. Know where there's a leakage. So, and as you're doing that, you will be able to grow yourself and you'll be able to see, okay, fine, I have some disposable income. And I keep throwing this word around a lot. And I'm sure some people are asking, what do you mean by disposable income? So disposable income is a factor of taking in your income, removing your expenses. Then you have disposable income, whatever is remaining. Now, away from that, we go to goals. So once you've budgeted, you've tracked your expenses, you need to make goals. So you have this 5,000 bob remaining at the end of the month. What is it for? What are you doing with it? If you don't plan for it, pesa inapatanga kazi. Usipoipangia, itapata kazi. You will get that phone call asking for money. You will get that urgent need that you just need to take care of. So you have to plan for it, and that's why we're talking about goals. Don't wait for 2023 January, the way we normally eat in December, and wait for January to go and find a gym. No, that's not how you work with money. You start planning now. Let's plan for the year. Let's say next year I want to change my financial situation. I want to be better than how I was. Now is the time to plan. Take your pen and paper, take your Word document, take your Excel sheet, take your PowerPoint, write down your goals. They could be short term, they could be medium term, they could be long term. No pressure. You can start anywhere. Just write whatever your goals are. Your goals could be anything from maybe you want to join higher education. Maybe you want to buy a new car. Maybe you want to one day own a house. Remember, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. So you have to start from somewhere, and that starting point is writing down your goals. So let's make our goals. Let's do the short-term goals. Let's do the medium-term goals. When I say medium-term, I'm talking about between 1 and 5 years. Short-term is 1 year or less. And let's do the long-term goals, 5 years or more. And goal setting is not just about financial planning. It could be about anything. You could be setting goals for your family. You could be setting goals for investments. You could be setting goals for your personal life. You could be setting goals even to, advance yourself in life. So don't restrict yourself to financial planning. We're talking about general goals here. Include them. Write everything. And remember, all these goals, whether it's pushing yourself further in life, whether it's getting that promotion, whether it's improving your family life, all of them, somehow, they come back to money. All of them, however you look at it, it will just boil down to where is the money. Having said that, we also want to hear from you. How are you setting your goals? What are your plans for 2023? Please engage with us in the comment section. Let us know, are the things we are telling you relevant to your life? Do they matter to you? Are they helping you? Let us know. Give us your feedback. Talk to us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and even on YouTube. We wait to hear from you. So remember to tune in every Wealth Wednesday on Enwealth Money TV.